Welcome back to Algebra 2, Chapter 9, Section 4 in this book. And we're getting to do some very fun, fancy math. Alright, to multiply and divide a rational expression. So what we're really doing is reducing. And sometimes kids have a hard time with this because they are not experienced. The more you do these, so the better you'll get at it. You'll start seeing, oh, and what you do is you think, what can I do? What can I do so I can mark something out? Now notice that there are no equal signs with these. Later we're going to do other problems that have equal signs and you do them different. But these are just fractions that we're going to try to reduce. So let's look at this one. You cannot mark out those x squareds because of that plus. Not allowed. So instead we think, well, is there something I can pull out? Then I can mark it out. Because you can mark it out if it's multiply or divide, but not add or subtract. And there's a common factor here of x's. So I pulled an x out, and x times x is x squared, and x times 5 is 5x. And now I have one x on top and one on top and two on bottom. So this one marks out one of those, leaving one, and the answer is x plus 5 over x. That's not so bad, is it? Let's look at this one. When I see this, the first thing you usually do is factor it. So I would factor that, and this is the difference between two squared, so I factored that too. And now look what happens. Whoop, those mark out. So the answer is x minus 6 over x minus 2. See, they're kind of fun because you get to mark out math, and that's always fun. Okay, so this one is just multiplying, and remember you can mark anything out of denominators, and as long as you have the same thing on the numerator and denominator, you can mark it out. So we don't really even care that it's multiply. And in fact, I'll tell kids, if it's multiply, you can just draw a line and pretend like it's all one big fraction, because that's how you treat it. So you look for things that you can mark out. Let's look at the 5 first. 10 is made out of 2 times 5. So I'm going to change 10 into 2 times 5 so I can mark out those 5s. 6 is made out of 2 times 3. So I'm going to change 6 into 2 times 3 so I can mark out those 2s. I could have done that too, but that one's good enough. Okay? How about x's? I got one on the bottom here that I can mark out, and mark out one of those 2 right there. Now, I don't have any more x's on the bottom. I have 3 y's on the bottom. Oh, I had another x on top, but that didn't matter. I have 3 y's on the bottom and 1, 2, 3 on top. So all y's get marked out, except of those. But I have this extra one down here. Okay, so now I can gather up my terms. So in the numerator for numbers, what I have left is a 3. In the numerator for letters, I have 1 plus 3, 4 x's. In the denominator for numbers, I have that 2. And in the denominator for letters, I have that y. And that's the answer. Isn't that fun? Okay, this one. So what I would do here is I would factor this one. I can pull a 4 out, a 4x, because it's got common factors of 4 and x. So I did. So 4x times 1 is 4x, 4x times negative x is negative 4x squared, so I pulled a 4 out. This one I factored. I wrote my parentheses. What can I multiply to get 3, but add or subtract to get 2? 1 and 3. The middle term has the sign of the biggest number, so those are both positive, so that had to be negative to make that a negative 3. Over here I factored this. 2 and 3 make 6, and if you subtract them, they make 1, and there's a 4x. Now, what can I mark out? I can mark out that and that. Remember, this is just like one big line since it's multiply. I can mark out 4x and 4x. Now, these are almost the same, but notice that it's negative x plus 1. It's the same, but their signs are opposite. So what I do is I'm going to pull a negative 1 out of this. I'm going to pull out a negative 1, and then that makes this negative and it makes that positive, the way which is x minus 1. It's the same thing, and I can mark those out. So now what do I have left? I have a negative 1, and I have an x minus 2. Everything else got marked out. And the last thing the book did is they went ahead and distributed that negative 1, making it negative x plus 2. Easy, right? Okay, how about this one? if there's nothing on the denominator, what is there an understood one of? That's right, a 1. Okay, so now I'm looking for things that I can factor, and this is the difference between two cubes, because 8 is 2 cubed, x is x cubed, and negative 1 cubed is negative 1. So I can put this in the pattern of the difference between two cubes, and then this is actually the same. So this one, normally I would go off on the wrong rabbit trail and I'd factor that and go, oh no, and I'd put it back. But those can mark out. So the answer is x plus 3 over 2x minus 1. I don't write as many steps as the book does. I just like marking stuff out, so I don't rewrite it as many times as they do. I get right to the marking out faster. Now, how do you divide a fraction? Remember, you flip it, and multiply. We flipped the second one. So first thing I did was rewrite it, flipping it, and changing it to a multiply. Now, I'm looking for things that I can mark out. This has the common factor that I can pull out a 3, leaving x minus 4. This can be factored into 2 and 4. The bigger number has the sign of the middle term. The other one has to be negative for that to be positive. And this, I can pull out an x. So now I see that I can mark out those, and I can mark out those, and I can mark out those x's, and I am left with 5/3. So look at the examples of the book, make sure you understand them. These might be a little frustrating until you practice them, and then they start getting fun, I promise. So you got to practice it. If you go to do your homework and you look at it and go, I don't know, I got nothing. Look at the back of the book and look at the answer. And see if you go, oh, look, they marked out all of that stuff. Let me see how I can mark it out. Maybe I can pull something out. Maybe I can factor it. Maybe there's nothing I can do and I just write it down again. All right? So give it a try. I promise it will get easier with practice. And math is great.